Welcome to this series of Eden Talk, where we are reviewing the book Adventist Home. A number of presentations have been put together. Hope you find them beneficial. Stay tuned in and enjoy this presentation.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, so they say, and it is true. And it's the reason why today I'm talking about relaxation and recreation. Greetings, friends. My name is Sambani. So, what is recreation? That renews us, that refreshes us, that restores us, that revives us. An activity that is going to give us energy as we go with our day-to-day work. There are actually three types of recreation. This would be an activity that is going to involve your physique. An example would be taking a walk in nature, a nature walk. That would be a very good example of an activity that is going to refresh you. Another type is social recreation. Now, this is where you are hanging out with your friends, and a good example on this one is going to church on a Sabbath, on one day of the week. In this case, the Sabbath. When you go to church on a Sabbath, you socialize, you meet your community, you meet your people, and it is a very good way to refresh your mind. Another type of recreation is cognitive recreation. This has got to do with the mind. This would be something to do with stimulating your mind. An example would be maybe writing a poem. Some people find it a way of recreating themselves. Now, we want to see if recreation is actually necessary for a Christian. What activity would a Christian be involved in? It is really true that all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. And really, recreation is very important even for a Christian. We would see that God actually made the Sabbath for man. He said 6 days we can work, but on the seventh, He asks us to take a break, to refresh, to rest. Because He knows that we need to balance between work and rest. We cannot keep on going. We cannot keep on working 24/7, like 7 days in a week. We need to find time to rest. Even during the day, we need to take breaks. You can't keep on working all day from morning till evening. Some people do that, but now sometimes they lose focus, they lose energy. They need to refresh. An example would be in a corporate world where people have got pressure to meet deadlines. They work with no breaks. Sometimes some people even have lunch. They don't even go to lunch. They eat whilst they're working. This is not advisable. Even students, sometimes when they've got pressure, exams are near, they study with no breaks. And that is also not advisable because they need breaks in between to refresh their minds, to invigorate their minds so that they get more energy to keep on doing what they're doing. But we see that even if someone is working in the service of God, he can't keep on working without break. He needs to take his time off, refresh his mind, get more energy, and continue with what he's doing. And right there, now that you know that recreation is important, and even the devil knows, and this is exactly where now the devil lies in wait. He knows that people are going to take time off to refresh their minds, to do an activity that is different from whatever they do in their day-to-day job. And then the devil knows that the natural heart actually loves pleasure. Now he comes to trap us because he knows that if these people are going to have a recreation activity, he should give us an activity that is not going to align with the Word of God. The devil has got a way to flood the human mind with sinful desires. He gives us ideas that we should come up with activities that God will not love seeing His child do. He makes worldly pleasures attractive, whilst making holiness and path to heaven boring and difficult. That's what the devil does. He also ensnares the youth at a tender age, so that he gives them hobbies that are not aligned with the kingdom of heaven. And this is where I want to do my presentation on, because this is where I think it is more important. Because the devil knows that people love pleasure, like I've already said. Now he has made the contemporary society to love pleasure more than anything else. If you look at the media, entertainment, there are things that we do that we think they're not as bad in themselves, but they are, because the Word of God doesn't encourage them. Simple things like dancing, gambling, card playing, among other things that are not aligned with the Word of God. Now, as a Christian, how should you choose your recreation activities? Because we know that recreation is very important. So how should you choose recreation activities knowing that the devil is also out there trying to ensnare us into traps? Philippians 4 verse 8 says, whatever is good, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is just, if there's any virtue in this, if there's any praise in this, we should think about these things. I've learned that we're supposed to recreate, we're supposed to have recreation activities, but we're supposed to substitute the evil ones with the innocent ones. We're supposed to find something that is wholesome. We can look at Jesus Christ as our example, as our role model of Jesus Christ. He grew up as a carpenter. Working in carpentry. His life as a youth was industrious. Whatever he was doing was productive. We're saying that we should be able to kill two birds with one stone. That are wholesome activities that once we're doing them as a recreation activity, but they would also help us move closer to the work of God. An example would be missionary work. Missionary work would be used for students as a recreational activity. I know some people during holidays they go out doing missionary work as a part of recreation activity, just to refresh their minds, just to go back on track. We should encourage our young people to do such things as manual work, as they take breaks in between their day-to-day schedules. We are encouraged to take no satisfaction in worldly pleasures. Now, I want to look at the last section where we are looking at how parents cause low standards in the new generation. We're saying that parents promote and uphold high standards because it is parents who actually instill this good behavior in kids. If parents are not upholding the standards, they actually degrade the moral standards. The Christian standards is degraded. Kids do not know what they stand for. The parents should actively participate and engage and supervise what the children are doing. Kids should be encouraged from moral corrupting activities. Parents should also stay consistent. If one parent say one thing, the other parent should say something that is opposite to what the other parent said. But they should all be on the same track and say the same things. We know that parents are challenged in this age because, like I've already said, the devil has set traps to give us hobbies and passions that are worldly, something that a Christian should not love. Parents these days are challenged with the society because the devil has flooded the society with his evil ideas, with his evil plans. You look at the media, what our kids are watching on TV is something that parents should really supervise and participate in whatever the children are doing. With these few remarks, I hope you learned something from my presentation on recreation and relaxation. As a Christian, we're saying we should be able to choose things that are wholesome. Thank you.